Good afternoon, everyone. This is Adriano Autino, the president of Space Renaissance International. I'm not a virologist, and after 3 months of everything and the opposite of everything, I have not been able to understand what strategies are winning against the pandemic. It seems that isolation and closure are yielding results in bending the contagion curve. But the preventive strategy of promptly swabbing everyone and treating the disease from the very first symptoms where it was applied has greatly contained the number of deaths. It would seem logical that lowering the number of deaths is even more important than containing the contagions. So it is not clear why, in a new paradigm of almost unlimited public spending, the testing and prevention strategy is not being adopted across worldwide. Perhaps there are more sophisticated methods, tracking by mobile phones, etc. But when time is short, we have to immediately put our hand to the tampons for all and strengthening of intensive care facilities. Stupidly, this has been done only in very few countries, notwithstanding the success examples. The public health systems in some countries don't exist. In other countries, it was heavily jeopardized by policies oriented to favor private sanity that takes its profit from illness and not from prevention. And so we have now more than 300,000 deaths, most of them grandparents whose wisdom and affection we will miss very much. I have not signed up to any conspiracy party, but I do detect a fundamental philosophical deficit, as I will argue later. But if we want to get pissed off, we certainly do not lack other opportunities. As already mentioned, public expense is now allowed. Anyone who tries to look just beyond their nose are practicing Pindaric flies on how to use this crisis to change social models. But seems that governments didn't so far understand a quite obvious concept. Two things are essential for any innovative social project: school and research. School and research. So let's put some damn money in it. No, we don't. The governments don't feel it as a priority. But what really made me go out of my mind was an interview which I recently happened to listen on the radio, with a well-known Italian meteorologist, climatologist, and anything else in the catalogue of never-achieved degrees. His name is Luca Mercalli, a well-known exponent of the no-TAV movement that opposes the high-speed railroad in Italy. I'm not new to getting pissed off when I listen to such kind of people, because they embody everything I'm fiercely opposed to. They risk thwarting years of patient attempt by myself to understand the reasons of the ecologists and try to dialogue instead of always opposing myself. Euphoric, lively, in great shape and enthusiastic about this beautiful ecological experiment, as he defines the world crisis caused by the coronavirus. But does he know that there are more than 330,000 dead in the world today? Shame on him. Shame on him. Really. According to such expert climatologists, the virus is teaching us what the superfluous is. For example, traveling by plane. What good will it ever do us when we can sit at home watching the world from our TV screens and computers? And we really needed someone to tell us what's superfluous, what we'll have to do without in order to continue to pile up and fight for inches in a stubbornly closed world. But it's not even like that. And here we come to the philosophical deficit I mentioned at the beginning of this brief note. It is clear that the entire varied world of the greatest ideologists, first and foremost their guru, Serge Latouche, do not care at all about the dead. They do not remotely consider civil expansion into space. The only solution to save the goat, so the humans, and the cabbage, i.e. the natural environment of planet Earth. Yes, such a solution will allow 8 billion people, their children and nephews, to solve their basic needs and to get the so-called superfluous too. I've been wondering for at least 30 years why ecologists do not understand that they should be the first ones to promote expansion in outer space. Let's give the goat the opportunity to eat other cabbages in the solar system and to relieve Mother Earth's environment. The answer lies precisely in the philosophical deficit. Most ecologists are convinced that they are also humanist and don't even bother to go a bit deeper in the related philosophical concepts. They do not even question the logical link between growth in a closed world, environment degradation, and resource wars. The ideologists instead consider such a link, but evidently they find much easier in their ignorance to kill a few billion people or let pandemics and various environmental catastrophes to do the dirty work, rather than face the problem rationally, using all the great scientific and technological knowledge accumulated so far to win the greatest challenge of all time, to get out of the Earth's gravitational well, to begin to expand into the solar system. The philosophical deficit lies exactly here. It is a lack of solid humanist concepts. But let us not delude ourselves. Such a deficit concerns all of the ideological currents. All politicians still seem convinced that they live in the old world. Even in the current contingency, they do not feel the need to do anything in defense of school, of research, and of an industrial development aiming upwards towards space. If you don't care about life, future, health, rights, including the right to the superfluous for 8 billion people, you don't need space. You don't need science. You don't need school. All you need to do is keeping yourself alive, telling the fairy tales of ecological experiments and impossible rebirths. Later, you will have what you aspire to so much, a life as an animal, but certainly not in an improbable harmony with nature, but once again at the mercy of nature, like our ancestors centuries and millennia ago. But probably worse, because our ancestors worked and hoped for progress, not for regression. Personally, I am almost tired of repeating the obvious. Such obvious concepts should be understood by a meaningful percentage of terrestrials, a critical mass capable of imposing the necessary change of paradigm, from space exploration to space settlement, giving priority to the enabling technologies for the civilian space development. If that will not occur, it will mean that the evolutionary impulse has died down in our species, and we deserve all that will come, and nature will pass the token of the evolutionary leap towards space to another species smaller and more numerous. Because nature, the real one, not the caricature that some ecologists give of it, does not give up, and certainly it is not humanist. Whether it is our species or another to win the challenge and to reproduce the terrestrial biome in the cosmos, it matters little. Only ourselves humans could stand on the side of our species if we were capable of it. So, this is all for today, and if you like what we say and what we do, please join the Space Renaissance. Just click on the top right icon and you will be driven to the form where you can subscribe and become a member of the Space Renaissance and help us to realize our high goals, to open the space frontier for all humanity. ad Astra.